We've got 5 out of 6 U.S. Senate races that are within toss-up status, according to Siena College, New York Times. We're going to look at this Senate poll as well as the one for governor that came out yesterday. Just like with any pollster, they do have some misses, so take it somewhat with a grain of salt. But the polling dates here were June 15th through the 29th, so recent, but it starts to get outdated pretty quick. The sample size in each state is about 600 likely voters. They did not poll Georgia, they did not do Michigan. I assume they're waiting to see who the nominee is going to be there for the Dems. But the only one that's outside of toss-up status is North Carolina. There, Roy Cooper is up by 7, 50 to 43 for Wiley. Even if Wiley got the rest of the 7, he'd only be tied with Cooper. That, I think, is the easiest flip for the Dems, and this pretty much confirms it. Actually, all of these states seem reasonable to me. We've got Maine. Plattner is up by 2, 49 to 47. In Texas, Tallarico and Paxton are tied in a dead heat, 47. Alaska, Dan Sullivan, he's up by 2, 47-45. Iowa, Ashley Hinson is up by 2, 48-46. In Ohio, Brown trails Houston by 3, 47-50. So outside of Maine, these are Republican states. Now they're not deep red, so Dems are hoping that this blue wave gets even bigger, and then they can come over the top and pick up several more seats. So this really depends on how you want to look at it. Dems are going to say they're within striking distance. They just need a couple more points, and they get undecideds, and they're going to cruise. Republicans are saying they're not even motivated yet, and they're still leading in July. So both sides could come up with their own narratives. Remember, Dems need to flip 4 seats for outright control. The big problem for Trump and the Republicans is going to be cost of living / the economy, and we've got only 36% approve of Trump's handling on cost of living, and that's only 24% with independents. So that is pretty bad. That has to come up, or Republicans are going to suffer some losses. If we go down here, we've got another table. This asks how you would rate the economy. Almost nobody thinks it's excellent. Texas is in the lead with 16. If you're looking for good, Iowa is in the lead at 38. In Maine, 51% think it's only fair. That's a majority. And they also lead with poor. 34% think the same in Maine. But if you look at excellent or good, those numbers definitely not looking good. You've also got the Iran war here. 39% approve of Trump's handling of it. 33% approve of his handling of gas prices. Immigration, a strong issue for Trump. This talks about Iowa voters, and they think that the Dems have gone too far left in the past. So we'll see how Dems run on that particular issue. If you're looking for enthusiasm, 93% of Democrats say they were very likely or almost certain to vote for Republicans. It's 87 in these states. The Dems with that enthusiasm advantage, Republicans hoping it comes around by election day. Here's an interesting one. This asks, what is your preference for the outcome of this year's U.S. Senate elections? Democrat or Republican control? Maine, 54% say the Dems. North Carolina, that's up to 49. The other 4 states all have Republican control at 49 through 51. Dems not too far behind. Alaska is their lowest at 41. Candidate quality also a factor. Dems think they've got some good ones this year, and I don't really disagree, but good and fantastic are two different things. Here's the favorability ratings of U.S. Senate candidates in each state. Net favorability in Iowa, the Democratic candidate is plus 27. For the Republican, just 7. In North Carolina, Roy Cooper surprisingly only plus 14, but Michael Whatley also surprisingly up to plus 9. Alaska, it's plus 10 for Peltola, plus 2 for Sullivan. Slight edge for Sherrod Brown over John Husted in Ohio. Tallarico, a clear advantage in Texas, plus 6. Ken Paxton is at minus 12. Then in Maine, that's the only one that's better for the Republicans. Grant Plantner's minus 5. Susan Collins, minus 2. So very interesting dynamics in a bunch of these states. Then we've got the polling methodology down here if you want to take a look at that. So good stuff there. Then we'll move on to the race for governor. They've got 4 states here: Maine, Iowa, Ohio, and Texas. This is completely lopsided in Maine. The Democrat Hannah Pingree, she's at 50%. Bobby Charles, the Republican, just 36. There's also an independent candidate in that race. He's not shown in this poll. But of course, you could go deeper into the crosstabs in this poll and take a look at some of the different demographics. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it simple. Iowa is a big battleground this year. Dems really hoping to flip it. And we've got a nail biter. Rob Sand, the Democrat, is at 48. Zach Lane, the Republican, he won that nomination in an upset. He's at 47. Very tight in Ohio. Ramaswamy and Acton both tied at 47. In Texas, though, a little bit of breathing room for Abbott over Hinojosa. He's at 51. She's at 44. So I don't think anybody was really expecting Republicans to make a play in Maine. There's always still time, but pretty much Iowa and Ohio are the 2 main ones here. Greg Abbott in Texas seems like he's got that one almost in the bag, but not quite. Iowa and Ohio, those are the 2 states that back in 2018, during Trump's first term, it was a blue wave. Dems had high hopes at flipping both states for governor. They were an open seat. They had candidates that were polling, sometimes in the lead, right before Election Day. In the end, they both lost. So this could be deja vu all over again. There's some undecideds. If they break toward the Republicans, the lean of the state is going to carry them to victory once again. But if they go toward the Dems, it's going to be a big upset. So, of course, voters in most of these states disapprove of Trump's performance. Voters think we're headed in the wrong direction. All that's pretty much expected. Back in 22, during the last midterm under Biden, most voters thought we were headed down the wrong track. Biden had bad approval, but of course, that doesn't tell you exactly how people are going to vote. Some people will disapprove of the president and still come out and support the party. That year was also notable because that was a Supreme Court decision on abortion, sending it back to the states. That, I think, was enough of a boost for the Dems that they were able to hold on to some seats for governor, especially. But we've got some good stuff here. It's going to be fun to see what happens once we get more into things after Labor Day. It's early. People are enjoying their summer right now. Everybody not exactly thinking about politics. But that's it for this poll. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about any of this data for the Senate or for governor? Let me know what you're taking a look at down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.